Welcome to Business Connection. I'm Liz Spencer. Today we're on location with Association Development Solutions to learn how their fundraising consulting firm helps associations like the American Society for Gastrointestinal Endoscopy meet their fundraising needs.
Liz, thank you for having me today. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk about the firm. ADS is Association Development Solutions, and we are a comprehensive fundraising firm working specifically with professional associations and member societies. Our executive consultants provide fundraising counsel to help these organizations not only achieve their visions but fulfill their missions.
Mm-hmm. And when an associate approaches you, what kind of help can they expect? How do you help me out?
Organizations typically come with a need for dollars. The difference between organizations that are simply surviving and those that are thriving are the required resources to make their programs and services come to fruition. And so we work with them typically within the areas of education, research, and outreach, core mission components of most professional associations and societies. We work to conduct an assessment to define exactly how we can help them in those areas.
And you make it sound so easy, but it's a little harder than that. Tell me about some of the services you offer your clients. How do you get them to achieve that goal?
Well, normally they have an understanding of what they need money for. In some cases, they're not quite sure. They're working on defining exactly what those outcomes are, and we can work with them to craft that case for support, work with them to develop and help their leaders understand their role in that process, talk about their priority prospect pool of stakeholders that will benefit from the outcomes, and then finally put a viable plan together to help them achieve their goals.
Can you give me a few examples?
Well, we work in most organizations, most industries, within the healthcare field, within trade such as safety, imaging, etc. But about half of our portfolio would be made up of major medical societies. And we work with a couple of keynote organizations that I would think worthy of mentioning today. One would be the American College of Surgeons. The American College of Surgeons, obviously very accomplished professionals who raise millions of dollars for their institutions. But then coming together to raise funds for their own society, their own organization, takes a little different approach. And so we conducted a leadership development program for them to blend those traditional fundraising methodologies with the nuances of association specialized fundraising. Another one would be the American College of Prosthodontists, the ACP in downtown Chicago. Rather than create a Band-Aid solution for changing the way we teach dental students how to implement the latest and greatest technologies, what we did was we revised and created a core curriculum to be adopted across all academic dentistry to improve patient outcomes. And then lastly, our flagship client is the Global Business Travel Association. And the reason I say that is because they came to us as a very modest organization conducting business nationally. And we were able to, over the years, build a relationship to take that organization truly worldwide, now providing education opportunities for the travel management profession in China, in Europe, Latin America, and partnership with Wharton and institutions like INSEAD in France and Fudan University in Shanghai. So we're very proud of that, taking a national group truly global.
Wow, lots of accomplishment. Now, I think you, for our viewers in that, you're dealing with some very big organizations, national, and in this case you grew one to global. For those people who are more familiar with the smaller ones, the smaller, maybe philanthropic, how does that differ from an associate?
Sure. The difference is really just in the scope. It has nothing to do with our process, because our process is the same. That's what's helped us be successful. So it's about best practices, it's about doing things in a way that's going to connect with your stakeholders and ultimately create a unique value proposition to stimulate the dollars.
Well, Dave, you make it sound so easy. That's because you're so good at what you do. Thanks for taking time to stop by and share a little bit about ADS and what you do.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate the opportunity.
We wish you continued success.
Thank you, Liz.
And now we're going to have an opportunity to meet with one of the clients for ADS and hear about their experience. Jeff, we're actually at one of your clients' facilities, IT&T Center. Tell me a little bit of how you worked with them and helped facilitate this grand facility we're in today.
Sure. I actually had the pleasure of working with Catherine and the other senior staff members at ASG a few years ago, back from 2010 to 2012, to help raise the funds to construct this center. We set a campaign goal of $6 million, and I'm happy to say we raised 6.7 on the $6 million goal. How we worked together, ASG coming in about 5-6 years ago, they had a very strong development program already. They raised a lot of money from members, which was Catherine's charge, and a lot of money from corporate partners, which was her colleague Linda's charge. So we had a tough job coming in, knowing that we had to raise money above and beyond what they were already doing with this very proactive program. But Linda and Catherine, their bandwidth, their plates were too full, essentially. So they needed someone to really focus on just the campaign effort. So they worked with ADS, they brought us in, and I really facilitated all of the campaign efforts. I helped with, Catherine helped me recruit the leadership team, execute on the plan, put together the case for support, and things like that. So I really did collaborate with Catherine and Linda and the CEO, Pat Blake. We worked pretty closely together, but ADS, we really drove the process because Catherine had her responsibilities that she was focused on, Linda had hers, and Pat was overseeing the whole ship, essentially. So we were really their wingman in this process, but really drove everything from start to finish.
Catherine, tell me a little bit what the money was raised for.
So the money we raised during our capital campaign helped to offset some of the startup costs of this training center. The building we're standing in now is the Institute for Training and Technology. It is a hands-on and didactic training center for our physician members. We have an auditorium that has broadcast capability, so we can present courses either here and broadcast them out into the world anywhere, or we can actually bring feeds into our facility from other healthcare institutions or hospitals throughout the world. We have a hands-on training lab where we do hands-on training for both endoscopy, but we have had other medical specialties use the lab, and we have a lot of meeting and conference spaces for our different committees or other courses to take place here at the center.
Well, isn't that what you hope for when you hire someone like an ADS to come in and really give you a helping hand when you need it most? Absolutely.
We realized quickly that once we decided to move forward with the capital campaign to construct this training center, that we needed to bring in both some additional expertise on running a successful campaign, but most importantly, as Jeff talked about, just bandwidth and the extra capacity to do that. And Jeff and his team really came in and integrated very seamlessly with our leaders, both our physician members and volunteers and our staff here. And Jeff was in our office almost like a full-time staff person, and so he really not only lent his expertise from a fundraising perspective, but most importantly, really got to know about this specialty and about our organization, and that really helped in terms of talking to our members and companies about investing in this vision and donating money to help support this center.
And I bet it makes you feel really great when you're sitting in this wonderful facility, and for the both of you, and think about that partnership and what resulted in it.
Absolutely. We are thrilled with the result. We're about to celebrate our 3rd anniversary in this training center. Our members are very, very proud of it. This center is actually really important. Education is a critical aspect of our mission to advance patient care. Making sure that physicians have sort of the latest and greatest training and technology right at their fingertips is so important, and this was a visionary project for us, and we couldn't have done it without ADS's support to help raise some of the money to get it done.
And I would just add, it's more than just a pretty building. It's beautiful from the outside, but to Catherine's point, the tremendous amount of training and education that is centered in this building, but that is broadcast on a global scale, you really can't underscore the importance of that, because you're training 2nd and 3rd world physicians on the latest and greatest technologies and the latest and greatest techniques with world-renowned gastroenterologists that they're not traveling to Egypt or to South Africa. They're doing it here from Downers Grove, Illinois. Right. And this building allows us to do that. So more than just a pretty face, essentially.
Yeah, it's very innovative. It's it's changing the course of how we handle medicine these days. So, Catherine, thanks for taking time to tell us a little bit about your wonderful experience with ADS.
Thank you.